For startups hiring engineers and engineers looking to join them, this podcast is for you.
Hi, welcome to Your Next Tech Startup. I'm host Isabel Rasmussen. This is part 2 of a interview with Derrick, who's director of engineering at Counterpart. And we, just went over kind of how to successfully approach the technical take-home interview process with Counterpart. And now we're going to talk a bit more about just, interviewing and how to set yourself up for success, a bit about podcasts and all that. Derrick, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, of course. So, my name's Derrick Franco. As she mentioned, I'm the director of engineering at Counterpart. Counterpart's just about to push about 100 employees right now. So, we're still kind of on that growth trajectory right now. But I've been with the company from day one. And I'm often on the hiring panels for a lot of our engineers, product managers, and other managers that we're hiring at the company.
Awesome. I am so happy that you're on the show, and let's jump into things. One thing that I thought was an interesting point that you had made when we had spoken previously was how, big tech hiring doesn't oftentimes expect this. So a candidate who is used to doing well in big tech interviews then can, I guess, be kind of confused why they're having such a hard time, not passing startup interviews.
Yeah. And I think it's really kind of, this is honestly a self-reflection piece for everybody, which is, where do you think you would fit in best? Me personally, I know I would not do very well in a very large company setting because just the way my brain works, the way I like to approach challenges. I like to kind of be in those environments where I have to do a lot of thinking as well too, and work with a lot of people to figure out what is the solution versus just, hey, here's the marching orders, go get the checklist done. And so just knowing which one, because I know other people that it's the exact opposite. Like they're like, look, I don't want to be there to see the sausage getting made. I just want to know how should we do it. And then like, maybe I have a little bit of questions and we keep going. So it's knowing how you fit into these different companies and what you are looking for. Cause the challenges may be very, very different. One thing that I can also give just a little bit of advice on as well too, is just really spend some time before your calls, just Googling the people you're about to talk to. A lot of times these people have either written things or they've done previous interviews with information. And not only do you learn more about them from just like, hey, here's LinkedIn, what have they done before? But have they done any other podcasts before? Had they done any other interviews? Has anything been written down? Because a lot of this information for what are they looking for or what's their personality, what's their company's style is out there, whether it's from themselves, whether it's from somebody else at the company. And so you can learn a lot more about kind of that culture. It's even just at big tech companies to kind of bring it back. I've heard from many people that like the culture at Amazon, which is very focused on writing and, kind of what the written word is very different than somebody at, Microsoft and going over to Google. And so those things matter, so looking at the person that you're going to be talking to and not just, 5 minutes before the interview, hey, where did they go to school? Where are they based? Go and Google them, see if there's any information out there that could help as well too, because then you get more of a sense of what is this singular person talked about in the past and what is that company looking for as you find more information and interviews on the people that you may be interviewing with.
Yeah, I having started this podcast, I guess about 6 months now, and you've done a podcast as well, so this like it's so much easier to get someone on as a guest than it is to get people to subscribe.
That is very true. It's somebody told me once where it's like everybody loves to hear themselves talk. And, especially in this age where you have, it's a content age, it could be that they did a quick 60-second video and it's somewhere on Instagram or they wrote a whole blog post or anything else. Like there is a high chance that they have put some form of content out there where you can get a little more insight into how they're thinking.
Yeah. And that's, I love doing this podcast because it allows people to share that. And I hope it helps candidates like be successful. But it has surprised me how happy people are to like, because they need the little video clips and all of
Yeah.
that because it's become such a norm. Whereas like when I started tech recruiting a decade ago, I don't know how this would have gone.
Yeah. It's very different. That is for sure. Even in just the last 5 or 6 years, it's changed immensely. But yeah, it's one of those where it gives you an effective tool. And this is just one of those things where it's like, if I'm looking for getting my best foot forward, opportunity forward, it's how can I use the content, the tools at my discretion that will allow me to learn and have the best chance. And like I said, from our side, we're coming at from the point of they're using AI. That's great. How can we figure out the human behind them? So it's the same thing. From your side, it's how can I show them the things that I'm really good at? And how can I see what they're potentially looking for, who this human is? And those human factors are the things that are going to differentiate. Now, like I said, this is something that is going to keep evolving as these go over time. But I think that that's definitely probably one of the best pieces of advice that I can give is just focus on the human factors that you can control, because that will set you up for success on many interviews that you do.
Yeah. And I think one like last point with that is like 5 years ago, I would never, ever expect a candidate to Google their interviewer and watch a podcast episode
No,
on them.
no.
And like, I feel like if I had even suggested that at a meeting, people would look at me and be like, do you even understand how tech recruiting
Yep.
works? The company does everything.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
we Google them, we try to like, I mean, I've done like,
Yep.
I bring up the paper that they wrote when I'm talking to them as a candidate, but sadly the tables have turned and candidates are having to learn how to be candidates for software engineers. And I think that's just like another great tip of like how you can learn more about people. So then you're asking questions that you're genuinely curious about instead of like just these are the 10 questions that ChatGPT told me I should be asking a director of engineering when I'm
Yeah.
interviewing for a role.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, it's utilizing everything at your discretion. If you find a 2-hour panel that they were on, I mean, Gemini does a really good job at giving you some bullet points of that, that YouTube video. And, but then if you find something that's just like a couple of minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, like, yeah, that gives you more information on who that human is. So using those pieces to your advantage and not overweighting towards one. If you're just summarizing everything, you're not going to get the content behind it. And vice versa. If you're watching every 3-hour panel that's out there, it's going to take you forever to get that context out. So it's using just as you would. We're in this new era where we're trying to figure out where does AI apply and where does it not. It's not a hammer. You can't just hit it at everything and have it work. You need to figure out where it can be used as a tool. And it's how can you use it to understand the human aspect more and to emphasize the parts of you that would increase value to the team that you want to join, and show those hiring managers that this is the value that I bring.
Yeah, no, that's such a great point. Well, thank you so much for coming on and sharing all of this.
I loved the conversation.
Awesome. Thank you.